Our first presenter this evening is our first local storyteller that we are bringing to the Dobie Dichos stage. Her name is Micaela Chapa Mendez. She's a graduate of George West ISD and B County College. She's always loved to research local history. Her late parents, Indercio and Marta Chapa, encouraged her love of storytelling and music. They knew the importance of education and literacy. Her father, Indercio, played the accordion while her mother sang. But Micaela and her siblings are the storytellers. As a child, she was surrounded by families connected to, or oftentimes directly connected to, the Dobie and the West families. Micaela was born in Duval County, but reared in Live Oak County, living her younger years on the family ranch in Clegg, which is toward Laredo from here. She married Rocky Mendez, has 3 children, Marcos, who lives in Illinois, Maribel, who's from Pawnee and who's on our board of directors here, and Marisa, who's from George West, and 8 grandchildren. In the 90s, Micaela was a volunteer for the Literacy Volunteers of America, a program committed to helping adults learn to read so they can enjoy the joys of reading stories memorialized in print. She dedicated her time to the program, helping community members learn to read and write. Through her dedicated time at LVA, she was able to help numerous families obtain U.S. citizenship. Micaela is serving her 9th year on the Dobie West Performing Arts Theater Board of Directors in George West, which in its foyer houses a J. Frank Dobie Museum. And tomorrow they're going to have a storytelling program from 1 to 7, a day of stories. I encourage you all to attend if you're going to be staying over in the area. Micaela's family and friends call her Mickey. And truthfully, until I read this bio, I didn't know her name was Micaela. So we are very proud to present Micaela Chapa Mendez, Mickey, as Dobie Dichos' first local storyteller. Mickey?
Good evening. Thank you, Mary Margaret, for that nice introduction. I am honored to be Dobie Dichos' first local teller. I want to thank my friends and my family that are here and hope that they will come back next year. And everybody else that's here tonight, hope you like the program. Of all the Dobie books that I have, my favorite is The Longhorn. However, tonight I will choose a story from Dobie's The Voice of the Coyote, because I feel it connects better to who I am and who my family is all about. I come from a family that loves music, dancing, and most of all, loves to tell stories. Growing up, my dad, Indercio Chapa, Sr., would play the accordion most nights for our family's entertainment. In addition, my dad liked to tell stories, so long as they ran at least a little true. My mom, Marta Lasso Chapa, sometimes would join along in song, as she knew many of them. Not only could she sing, but she also taught my 2 brothers, my sister, and myself how to dance. We learned how to dance to conjunto music, such as redobas, huapangos, polkas, valses, and chotis. And that is the chares in the conjunto sound. Our favorite stories from my mom were her ghost stories. According to her, she swore they happened to her or at least someone she knew. Dobie's The Voice of the Coyote was published almost 75 years ago, but not only it remains as a good read, but also serves as a reminder for all of us to love and respect what is living among us. I was amazed by the reference to song and song making in several of the stories throughout the book. This brings me to the reason why I chose the story, Folklorico Oddities. The story tells about many encounters had by many different folks and their observations of the magical ways of the coyote. They told how the coyote will almost bewitch the turkey, chickens, and even dates and berries from trees and palms by dancing, running in circles, and staring, almost wishing the roost or the fruit straight to the ground. Dobie has revealed he has no philosophy to explain the belief common among Mexicans of the magical powers of the coyote's eyes. People who hold that belief live in fear of the evil eye. Many Mexican people will tell you the coyote es un mágico, or the coyote is a magician. At the end of this story, Dobie mentions the coyote in a corrido. My dad would tell us that Americans of Mexican descent, which is someone like me, actually began to copy the music of their German and Czechoslovakian American neighbors that lived among them in the South Texas. The modeling of this music began sometimes in early 1900. We modeled the music, but began making it unique to us. We also started developing corridos as well. A corrido is a ballad. Corridos could be about anything, people, animals, or situations. However, most corridos were about a bandit man, a cheating woman, or a favorite beautiful racehorse. In the last paragraph, Dobie goes to describe how his troubadour friend, Brownie McNeil of San Antonio, heard a ranch Mexican of the Chaparral sing a coyote corrido in 1942. So, in 1948, McNeil took the singer's trail to find the singer to collect the versos for his friend, J. Frank Dobie. After following the trail, McNeil found the singer in Piedras Negras, not far on the Mexican side of the Rio Grande. When McNeil found the singer, Zion Martinez, he told him he knew no ballad, no songs, no tales, nothing. After a few Monterrey beers, Martinez began to remember. It went like this. I'm going to read the song, not sing it. Okay, so it's called Corrido del Coyote. Pass through the prickly pear and walk through the thickery. Go and tell your mother that you met the coyote. The male coyote on the little hill, his mate being down the valley. Dawn songs have no ending, nor do these versos. Sonora for the careless wheat, Chihuahua for the roasting ear. For wisdom, it's the burro, and for jokes, the coyote. Passing by the prickly pears, I was told by the coyote that the wild cat howls because he wants his pug nose. The mountain road leads to the village of San Juan. Little brother Scorpion say that gold does not frighten. Fly away, little dove, light on yonder fig tree. What's news, champion rooster? I'll meet you in the hen house. Coyote was walking on a hill, and look what happened. There beneath a rock, he chanced upon a rattlesnake. "Good morning, Don Cascabel. I'm going to give you whatever you wish. If you wish a picture, I'll paint it for you. But I prefer to paint the violin. Fly away, little dove. Light on yonder pear tree. Senor Horse, loyal friend, what do you carry in your nose bag?" The coyote said to us, passing over the state of Texas, "Here I knocked over the honey jar. There I leave you with the bees. Fly away, little dove. Light on yonder mulberry tree. Here terminates those versos about a valiant animal." Thank you.
I've got a couple of questions for you. I'm going to tippy-toe.
Okay.
So what were the Chapa family connections to J. Frank Dobie and the Dobie family? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Let me get my notes here. The interest in what was my family's, or my Chapa family, which included my sister and my brothers, was the interest in knowing more about Vitoriano Chapa and Triforiano Chapa, who live in our area where we were brought up, in Clegg, Texas, which is 20-something miles, 59 going towards Freer. And we understand that these folks are buried there, so we were interested in knowing about them, just to see if they were related or if they weren't related or what. So that's kind of like an ongoing research as of right now.
Good, because there's going to be a historical marker dedicated to those two fellas real soon in George West.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Good to know that. That I didn't
December
know that.
the 4th.
Okay, so that was one of the kind of like the thing that got it rolling. Okay, and then another one. I have another one. Okay, another one was October the 8th, 2004. My family was invited to Austin's State Theater to go and see Night Swim. And I know that if you're a Dobie person, you would know that Night Swim was a play about J. Frank Dobie, Roy Bettercheck, and Walter Prescott Webb. They were buddies, and they hung out in
Barton Springs.
Right, and so turns out that my son's brother-in-law wrote the play.
Really?
Yes, Steve Moore. He is my son's brother-in-law, and he and Steve called us and said, "Are y'all coming?" So he got us tickets, and we got to meet the mayor of Austin, and it was just real exciting.
Wow, yeah.
It was a really good
Big
night.
time.
And then the most fun one is my mom's name.
Okay. This is a great one. I know this story. It's cool.
My mom owned a Papalote Cafe in George West she ran it for about 9 years. And one of our customers was Miss Barbara McKinney. So Miss Barbara McKinney came. I was the waitress. So I went over and I, got her order and took it back. And then Mother said, "Oh, that's the lady that I was named after her mom." And so I said, "Mom, you were named after?" "Yes, I was named after her mom." So we said, "Okay." I went out there and I told Miss McKinney, "I did not know that you were named after your mother was named after, my mom was named after your mother." And she goes, "My mom's name was Myrtle, and my mom's name is Marta." So there was kind of a mix-up there. Either there was no translation, or my grandparents didn't know that she was Myrtle, not Marta. But anyway, that's and then as it turns out later on, as I investigated, Miss Myrtle was, Myrtle Williams. Myrtle Williams is a descendant of J. Frank Dobie. As a matter of fact, no, they're cousins.
Yeah,
they're first cousins. I found out just weeks ago that Miss Williams is a first cousin to J. Frank Dobie. So my mom was named after her, kinda, But anyways, that's my connection to J. Frank Dobie.
Cool. So I have another question for you.
Okay.
When you say, so long as the stories rang true at least a little, what exactly do you mean?
My dad had a problem with stories being too much where you just couldn't believe it. Just no way. And so he would get upset with people that would tell stories like that. So he was going to tell a story. It had to kind of at least be believable. So the wildest one, I guess, would be when he had to tell the story of when I was 6 years old, and we lived in Clegg, and he decided, because it started being bad weather, so he got us all. There was 3 of us. It was me and my sister, and my brother at the time was 2. My sister was 5, and I was 6. And so he put my mom in the truck and himself and the 3 of us and took off because he was going to outrun this bad weather. And it was looking really bad. And we lived in Clegg. So we started up the road. The truck didn't have a passenger side window. It had a tarp. He had put a tarp. And so this thing was coming. He had never seen a tornado. He had never heard of a tornado. Nothing. And so we get to Highway 59, and the Hammets had a filling station, and they also had their home, and then they had an old store that was not operating. It had all the equipment in it, but it wasn't no selling equipment, but their freezers and things like that were still there. And so my dad broke the window and started to get us in. About that time, a lady drove up. Because, my mom would tell me, yes, she would lift the tarp. Yes, the tornado's coming. This black cloud is coming. She called it the black cloud. And so we all, my dad broke the window. We got in the house. And about that time, a lady drove up. And the lady was going like, what do we do? What do we do? You're a man. What do we do? And she said, I'm putting my family in this building. She goes, no, I've heard you can't go into buildings because it's dangerous. And I just said, I'm putting my family in here. And so later on, we asked Daddy, what the lady, he goes, man, that lady was telling me I needed to be the leader. And right then and there, I didn't know whether I was a man or a woman. And so then later, that was that. Following that, after the tornado had been there and gone, and which, by the way, we researched it, it happened on May the 10th of 1959. And supposedly there was other tornadoes, but this is the one, there was others that hit all the way to McMullen County, I think, but this one went right across 59 and hit Tom Eiley's barn and all kinds of little houses that he had around there and stuff. Tom Eiley had a shop that he had Cokes and a Coke machine and all that. So we started walking around looking at all the damage, and it had picked up a house and moved it several, yards over, and, lots of weird stuff. But the weirdest was that the Coke that was there sitting waiting to get put into the machine for, getting it cool was gone. Somehow the tornado had gone and sucked up all the Coke and put the cap back on. And my dad just thought that was he had a hard time telling that story because he didn't think that people were going to believe him. He never knew what a tornado could do. He never had seen one. None of us. I mean, and this thing was coming, and then it went and sucked up all the coke, and, you know, so just like, it was more than what he could deal with.
I love this story. Thank you so much, Mickey. We appreciate you being with us this evening and doing such a fine job. Mickey Mendez.
Thank you.